Yeah.
That's the old schedule, remember?
Yeah, but all it is just like the
Winner of A1, that's really bringing them.
Oh, okay. So I think the loser of this game plays the loser of the tournament. And then the winner of this game
The night is falling, hear the pipes are calling, loudly and proudly calling down through the glen. There where the hills are sleeping, now feel the blood a-leaping, high as the spirits of the old Highland men. Towering in gallant fame, soared over mountain main, high may your proud standards gloriously wave. Land of the high endeavor, land of the shining river, land of my heart forever, Scotland the brave!
Ireland and Scotland meeting on the second day of the knockout round from the Tanya Israel. Welcome again to the 2019 Women's European Lacrosse Championship. I'm Ralph Bednarci, joined by Steffi Samaras, head coach of the Greek national team that is here playing in the festival in their first appearance ever as a team. Ireland and Scotland, two established teams out of Group A. Scotland in the blue over green-colored kilt-designed skirts, white on white for the Irish. Second meeting between these two teams. Ireland in group play won 6 days ago, 9-4. And here's Jaden Ayton. Ayton is Scotland's leading scorer, but she was held to just 1 goal that day. Meanwhile, the Irish last night falling down into this bracket, Steffi. A terrific effort, but they lost to a slick and explosive Czech Republic team, 12-10.
Yeah, Ireland's going to come back for the win in this game. You know, we were speculating if Noni Anderson was going to play. They're not starting her, but I think that we'll see her in this game. Can Scotland have the offensive output that they had?
That is in. It bounced across the goal line, and that's already a better start for Scotland than they had in that loss. Ayton's goal in that game was only on free position, but here she's able to beat Lucy Poulin, who did such a good job on Ayton in that game.
Yeah, so can Scotland have the offensive output that they had last night? A very equally distributed offensive unit from both a one-on-one perspective as well as a draw and dump perspective. And then Ireland, can they recover from what was an emotional game against the Czech Republic and finish this one? It's going to be a great matchup.
The winner of this game can finish as high as 5th. They'll play in the 5-6 game. Loser can finish as low as 8th, so they move into the 7th, 8th place game. Draw control belongs to Ireland. And Erin Riley back behind here for Caroline Peters. Peters led the way in that game for Ireland with 2-1. Rachel Ward also had 2 goals in that game, as did Cleo Kerr. Here's Robin Morris. Kerr with Scotland opening up in a man-to-man look. The goalie is Alexandra Seidel, a native of Massachusetts but attends university in Scotland. Peters
being that mastermind around the crease. You know, she doesn't have Noni Anderson up top right now, but we know Ward got involved heavily yesterday. Kerr was also a huge impact for Ireland yesterday. We look for them to do the exact same.
Back behind, Nicola Kiley on the attack for Ireland. But it is Riley that asks for a clear out. Very hot conditions for this one that gets started about 3:30 local time. Peters. And we'll have multiple water breaks during each quarter. This is a dangerous check near the head. Temperatures about 90 degrees at the start of this one a little while ago, but it feels like 96. Inside, and Kerr misses over the top. Scotland winners 18-4 yesterday, comfortably over Norway, in which head coach Dave Simpson of Scotland said, "We checked off all the boxes. We handled an opponent out of Group B." Norway finished second out of 5 teams in Group B, and they were never really threatened in that game. Rachel Ward on Carruthers back up with Ireland.
I love that take by Rachel Ward. Over top to her right. Let's see if she can continue to keep the angle on her shot.
Riley had the cutting Kerr. Morris with all the space here as she's pressured outside by Scotland, and Morris loses it. So the pressure applied by Molly McLean, and Scotland gets the ball back. So with a 1-0 lead, Ireland coach Kaki Helmer, Cornell University graduate. She was an all Ivy League defender, saying today after yesterday's game, and they made some good adjustments against the Czech Republic, but ultimately the Czechs just shoot with such precision, move the ball so quickly.
I think that was a game about how deep the Czechs bench was. They were able to use so many different people.
And here's the pass out of the reach of Ayton. And Ireland had climbed within 11-10. They had the score tied up. They were right there.
And then it was possession pretty much after that for the Czech Republic.
Kaki noting that for Ireland, in their losses especially, that they've struggled early in the game. They've had to battle uphill battles, and trying to avoid that today in a game against rival Scotland. The Green Machine, as they're known as, they have possession with Maggie Egan. We have a call against Scotland. And in that game, Noni Anderson left it very late with a hip injury, but she warmed up. She will play. We just haven't seen her yet.
She's actually just come onto the field, Ralph.
This is Ward shooting into the stick of Seidel. And you're right, I see Anderson on the offensive end. The pickup by Heather McRae. And lines a pass to the stick of Hannah Grant. Pass through, that's Charlie Bergquist. And a pass away from Chess Gray, but she'll recover. Scotland 1-0, a goal by Jenny Ayton. Here is Ayton again. That was Ayton's 11th to go along with 7 assists. A cross! She adds another! She gets Gray. Cross cage, beating Delaney Friel.
You know, at the beginning of this event, Ayton was their one-on-one player. And she's developed so much in the past 8 days that now she is a disher. And the fact that she can add both of those things to this Scotland offense, if Scotland can produce from multiple people today like they did yesterday, we could have some big troubles for Ireland.
Ireland was hoping to avoid a slow start, but they've reached the first water break, trailing Scotland 2-0 from Netanya. (2-0) Scotland leading Ireland. Ayton and Gray, with Ayton also adding an assist to the story. The winner will have a chance to play for 5th place tomorrow. Next game to follow, our first semifinal, England and the Czech Republic. We can't wait for it. Israel and Wales will be the second semifinal. The nightcap will be Germany against Netherlands. Ground ball for the Scots. Alex Seidel. She started play the first half yesterday against Norway. And out to Zoe Dixon. Dixon the clear. And Scotland in control. They've been settled. Friel, the 19-year-old goalie for Ireland. She's the youngest starting goalie here in the event. Turning is granted. She's got a low pocket finish. 3-0. Check that, rather. Hannah Whiteley on the goal. Scotland with the lead.
You know, Whiteley has that deadly drive from up top with that small little hitch fake. And again, Scotland's on a roll to having multiple people be threats for their offense. That is when they work the best.
For Whiteley, that's her 14th goal of this tournament, as she has surpassed Ayton following yesterday's win over Norway. As Ward comes up with a ground ball, and Ireland just looking for some good shots now. Noni Anderson remains on the offense for another run. Now past the halfway point of the opening quarter. No visible clock here. But we know we are after the first water break.
And you know, you have to speculate without the dramatic speed of Noni Anderson. Will that affect Ireland potentially on offense as well as all over the field? Scotland has shown now some confidence, especially in their offensive transition, fast breaking, taking some risks because they're so comfortable offensively.
Peters shoots, and the low save made. Seidel, as Peters was able to fight through Alicia Lawson and get a good look. And then the extra possessions that a healthy Noni Anderson provides any team.
You know, though, it may just take Anderson a little bit of time to warm up.
Seidel the save, short side on Peters.
And you know, interesting, Peters is going to want that one back. We've talked about this a lot. When you wrap that crease and you're trying to shoot for the close post, going low is always going to give you a higher percentage shot than shooting high, especially on a righty goalie as they shift from post to post.
Susan Oliphant on the clear for Scotland. Scotland has backup. Susie with 6 goals in the tournament. Another good day yesterday for her. Ayton on the restart. Ayton, feed, Bergquist. Could not stuff it high as Friel kept the stick up. Oliphant had the ground ball. Heisler for Ireland off the defense. And we'll deal it back to Poulin. Ahead for Kerr.
Great stop by Ireland, and that's something that they needed right now. You know, we haven't talked more recently about momentum shifts as we saw those happen often in pool play. And now I think the momentum shifts have somewhat gone away because you have to be on the entire game.
Pass across, looking for the cutting curve from Peters. And here's Scotland with the takeaway. And Hen Watson. So Ayton outside. Scotland went 1-4 in Group A play. Lone victory came 16-6 over Germany. But in a game that appeared like it was the breakthrough. Yes, they lost to England the next day 15-4, but I think they felt just much better about themselves and where they were. Ayton, redodge. That one went wide. And their Ireland loss was what matched their lowest goal scoring output. They did score 8 against Wales, but that might have been fool's gold. Ayton had a big game in terms of scoring rather than assisting. Feet in front, and Ayton somehow acrobatically gets that to fall. 4-0.
A small little flick of the wrist by Ayton. That's all that was. And with the big step of Friel to spin, it's just so hard to track that. And that's using Ayton's height to the Scotland advantage.
Water break. Late in the first quarter with 1:30 left, Scotland has added to its lead over Ireland, and they lead 4-0. Four 0 1:30 remaining for Scotland in the opening quarter against Ireland. They've got the lead with Jenny Ayton having 2 goals and an assist. Hannah Whiteley, her team leading 14th. Here's Cleo Kerr, Ireland to work. It's Peters. That's a quality shot. And for Caroline, one that she has been hitting in this tournament. Peters has 13 goals to pace the Irish, 10 for Cleo Kerr, 7 for Noni Anderson, along with 5 assists for her, 8 for Rachel Ward.
That fast-paced offense is definitely something that the Irish want to do offensively. Does that change without the full-bore speed of Noni Anderson? And can Caroline Peters get involved a little bit more and not necessarily be that crease person all the time?
That was Peters' cross-cage shot. Robin Morris. And she's fouled behind by Grant of Scotland. 30 seconds remaining. These are continuous clocks in all 4 quarters, except for water breaks. Coaches call timeouts, and inside the final 30 seconds, any whistle stops the clock. Egan. Morris, short time for Ireland. Ullman has come onto the field for the first time for the Irish. Here she is. Anderson trying to speed dodge to the left. Her first handle. The foul by Carruthers. Melanie Anderson should have enough time to take it to cage.
And look at the left side. She has her entire left side open.
And Anderson, despite the injury that caused her to leave the game, but wave it off.
Was there no time left?
It appears that is the end of the quarter, and there must have been only 1 second remaining. The coaching staff from Ireland waiting for the officials to come to the scores table to get more of an explanation. The lead official is explaining things to Kaki Helmer. That is the end of the first quarter. Assistants Catherine Conway, Hillary Bowen O'Doherty listening in. So the Anderson goal does not count. It is still 4-0 Scotland. We go to the second quarter, back from the Tanya.
take the one.
4-0 Scotland. So the goal from Noni Anderson was wiped out. Apparently there was only maybe a second remaining as she took that shot. It has to cross the goal line, but the officials deemed that time had expired. Draw control, Hannah Grant off the circle. Here for Hannah Whiteley. Scotland with the ball and a lot to be happy about. Ireland playing with a limited Noni Anderson who's in there defending. But we've not seen her really run or be a terror as she is all over ground balls. A yellow card now against Erin Riley, off ball defending for Ireland. So now a 6-on-5, and Scotland have a real opportunity to create some serious separation. It's a 6-on-5, 2-minute continuous time. Chloe Carruthers, as she takes it in, 5-0.
Scotland came to finish, and now we're gonna have to see Ireland climb out of a hole.
And this is the last thing Kaki Homer wanted today, the slow starts that have affected the Irish. 4th for Carruthers, and especially when you know going in that Noni Anderson will not be able to be 100%. That's a given. Maybe you don't know to what extent it is. But now actually a false start against Grant. This is a break for the Irish, so 5-on-6. They can kill off the remainder of this yellow card against Riley and escape with just 1 goal allowed.
And that's going to be something that they're going to be okay with at this point. They probably won't heavily attack against a man-up defense, especially in Scotland. We'll see if Economou comes out to pressure heavily as she's their backer. In this situation, you know, potentially with a full speed Noni Anderson, she could take the long one-on-one against 2 defenders.
Ward. Anderson again. Anderson rips the shot. Seidel the save.
And that's a great hold by Seidel. And with that shot, you potentially leave Scotland in a man-up situation for maybe 30 seconds.
Well, I just see Riley run off, so that is it. So 6-on-6. And all things considered, Ireland okay, but they'll need to get a stop. What did you think of Anderson moving here in the offensive end and your impressions so far? It may take her some time, if anything, just to loosen up.
Yeah, I think she's going to be one of the fastest people even injured, because I don't think she understands how to not be fast. She has a from stopped to moving, it's 100%. So my only fear for her is re-injuring whatever injury she may have, because she doesn't know how to go slow.
Yeah, she fell on her left side or left hip at the very end of yesterday's game against the Czech Republic. Score was already 12-10 with about 30 seconds to go, and the Czech Republic was dissecting the Irish and playing keep away to close the win out. Ayton slips the shot wide of Friel.
And again, this Scottish attack, I don't know if we've seen them move this much. if they can continue to do this, it's potentially even just tiring Ireland out.
And today, with it being 90 at the projected game time of 3:20 local time, feeling like 96.
That's a scorcher.
That's another added bonus for Scotland, playing here in the second quarter with a 5-0 lead. Ayton, then from a difficult angle, tried to perhaps bank it off of Friel.
We've seen that happen. And Ayton's drawn Poulin again. I think now Poulin has to play her a bit differently, as she's not necessarily just driving to cage, but she's also dishing.
Heisler had Gray. Field spread for Whiteley. In comes Oliphant.
The cut and recut, I love it. So great to see all of this movement by Scotland. Seems like just 3 or 4 days ago they were trying to watch Ayton do everything, and now all 6 girls in the offensive unit are involved.
Whiteley is able to get back to her right hand with the face dodge against Riley. Hannah Whiteley's second, 6-0 Scotland.
You know, I think one of the biggest differences in this Scotland attack is Whiteley and Oliphant up top. Their driving to the cage is creating a collapse in the defense, and they're able to expose those high defenders for allowing the opening up instead of holding them strong.
8:40 remaining in the second quarter. First water break. Scotland has jumped on Ireland 6-0. Six 0 Scotland. We welcome you back to Netanya, Israel. We'd like to thank our sponsors, including Honig's, for outfitting the officials of this tournament, World Lacrosse and the Olympic Channel for their live stream production. Draw control. Grant picked it up. Got it to Hull of Scotland. And they go back to work again. Ireland had a goal wiped out at the end of the first quarter. That could have made it 4-1 and perhaps lit Noni Anderson on fire and sparked the Irish. But it stayed 4-0. Scotland's added 2 more since as Ayton is fouled from behind.
And I think another game changer for Scotland has been Grant on the draw control. She has been able to self-draw, whether she's actually purposely doing it or not, and come up with the ball for Scotland. And as we saw in the last game, draw controls equals possessions. Possessions equals goals.
B. Hull, 3 goals yesterday in the rout of Norway. Poulin again dealing with Ayton. A foul off ball against Amelia Heisler will put Whiteley here on the left wing for a free position. And Whiteley just didn't like her jump. She'll back it out to Bergquist.
And that happens. That's good decision for possession, especially at this point in the game.
Ayton fired it in. Tough handle for Dixon. Ayton, the ground ball. Hull. And another foul against Ireland. It's a tough turnaround for the Irish after expending so much energy against the Czech Republic yesterday. And what a great game it was. Holding the approach, quick stick, and it misses wide by Whiteley. That was a quarterfinal game. There are 3 different brackets in this 16-team tournament, ending with a gold medal game Thursday night at about 7:30 local time. The semifinals will be later today with those winners and those 4 teams playing a third-place game and the final after a day off Thursday. Ayton swinging it up top.
Probably the most patient we've seen Scotland, but still getting good looks at the cage. And I think Ireland's defense is getting a little bit more comfortable with what Scotland is trying to do. This is their longest hold of Scotland so far, this entire game. Now they've got to translate this to a caused turnover and then a goal on the other end.
Oliphant, the rollback, the turn. This is as well as Scotland has played the entire tournament. A very long possession. As you said, Steffi, they didn't force anything, and Oliphant makes it 7-0.
And you know, it's really hard to play defense for that long. You can have the best defenders in the world, but when you have to stay that focused for that long of a period of time, at some point, if you're as patient as Scotland, you just wait for the most minimal of mistakes.
1 possession for the Scots. It's another water break, though, with 5 minutes and change left before the half, and Ireland searching for answers. 7-0 Scotland. 5 different goal scorers. Jenny Ayton, 2 goals and an assist. Whiteley has also scored twice. Draw control, and it's McLean that beats Anderson to it. And you can even see Noni Anderson is grimacing even during that battle with McLean. And you take your hat off to Noni Anderson. She knows there's only 2 games left.
Yeah.
And for Ireland, she's truly leaving it all out on the field. And so are many of these young women, because the exhaustion from heat, the bumps and bruises and extended injuries you're taking, it's really a tournament about attrition too, and how well you can handle that.
And I think that any team here, regardless, will say that they just love watching Noni Anderson play. I do. She's been an absolute delight on the field, off the field. Got some great stories of potentially sharing a tattoo with her former college coach, Chris Saylor. Might have to talk Coach Saylor into that one.
Here's the shot coming. So Coach Saylor has declined it or is still mulling it over?
I still think it's in the works. Noni's going to have to do some real reconnaissance on that one, I think.
Here's Chess Gray. Gray shooting. Friel making the save low.
I think that one went off of Friel's shin, as she might be grimacing now too.
Yep, Friel favoring it. Her mom is on the Team Ireland staff. Dad is here in attendance. And what has been tremendous growth that Delaney has experienced after playing only in 2 games and only a few minutes total at Marquette University in Wisconsin this spring in her freshman year. Well, this is a great way to prepare and to take another step in your career. Grant, off the face dodge, shooting space, wave it off.
I think Marquette coach Meredith Black is going to be insanely happy with the development that Friel has had over the past 10 days.
Grant shooting, and this time Friel makes the save. Lucy Poulin, as Ireland has not had the ball for a while. And ahead, Egan. Egan checked out of her stick, and Ireland gets it right back, Rosie Hazel. Anderson, though, flies in, and that was a glimpse of what she can do when 100% healthy. Morris back with it with 2 minutes to go in the half. And Ireland just needs something to build on for the seconds.
How much movement can Ireland do? Kerr, Egan, Ward. Actually, Ward's not on the field right now. Peters behind. And the communication from the Scotland defense, they understand what's about to happen here and how much movement's going to happen.
Peters slip. Here's the chance. It's Egan. She pockets the shot. Peters on the assist. Something to build on for the Irish.
And that's their bread and butter right there. We know that Peters is their playmaker back behind cage, and we just need those backdoor cuts that we're so used to seeing from this Ireland offense.
Fourth goal of the tournament for Maggie. So 7-1 with about a minute left. Egan now instead of Riley on the draw. And this was taking a long time to set. So they'll reset the clock and add some more time in the second quarter.
So that's the sideline official.
So they get the clock to 30 seconds, so it'll stop on any whistle. Maybe it went under 30 seconds. When it hits 30, it's supposed to stop. During a dead ball like this. They'll redo that as Nicola Kiley will take this. Grant for Scotland. Procedure called against Ireland, against Kiley in the circle. Chance for Scotland. Poulin bats the pass down. Anderson, as she kicks it around, is fouled.
Poulin always has her stick in the right place at the right time. I love that from a defender.
And here is Lucy. Chance to run, 15 seconds. Lucy Poulin in a collision. Poulin. That's the end of the first half, but Ireland gets one at the end from Egan. However, the best half Scotland has played here in Netanya. They lead Ireland 7-1. The winner of this game moves into the sixth place game. The loser will play for 7th or 8th. So a lot at stake for two proud countries to try to finish in the top 5 in Europe. We'll be back in 15 minutes to bring you continuing coverage and the third quarter between Ireland and Scotland.
תרים גובה נראה לי, כי זה קצת נמוך.
Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Hello, hello, hello. Test 1 2. Test 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. 1 2 3 4 5. The Netherlands has arrived. The Netherlands has arrived. Test 1 2. I see Mike Atillo. Great name. Test 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Yeah. Third quarter starts as the sun begins to set now towards the late afternoon in Netanya. Here's Noni Anderson, her first draw control off the circle. Anderson playing not 100%, that's safe to say. After being hurt and leaving last night's game late against the Czech Republic, a thrilling 12-10 finish won by the Czechs. Their game against England in our first semifinal is next. Ralph Bednarczyk, Steffi Samaras here from the Tanya, and our coverage and our marathon coverage still with tomorrow and Thursday left. 6 more games each day. 7-1 Scotland. Ireland got the last goal of the half. On the roll dodge, Kerr. And Kerr has not been as involved today for Ireland, and mainly Scotland has probably had a 75-25 split in possession time.
If not more. I think that Ireland's maybe possessed the ball for 4 or 5 minutes in a total in the first half, so that's probably going to be a huge key for them here in this second half. If they can possess, we know they can create.
Pass outside the stick of Rachel Ward. Noni Anderson comes up on it. And what's at stake here? The winner will get to play in the 5th, 6th place game. The loser will play in the 7th, 8th place game tomorrow. So that's a chance to get into the top 5 of the Euros. Scotland in 2017 finished 5th in the world, despite going 2-6, because they played in Group A with the US, Canada, England, Australia, etc. Anderson across, and the pass dropped by Peters, and we'll go back to Scotland. Ireland finished 13th in the world in 2017 at the World Championship in England. They returned about 7-8 regulars from that 2017 team.
Ireland has to drastically change their possessions and their effectiveness of their possessions for this second half to give them a chance. Scotland is a well-oiled machine right now with their possessions and their ball movement, their people movement. How many people are involved in their offense?
Jenny Ayton, 2 goals and an assist, all coming in the first quarter. Charlie Bergquist pestered there by Heisler, who was relentless. She gets the ball back for Ireland. Well, if you're Kaki Helmer, look, this was the half you'd like to forget and hit the reset button, but what do you think she talked about to her young ladies at the break for the Irish?
Taking care of the ball, like this instance right here. I think that, you know, of all of the games, that's the one half that Ireland wish they could probably get back. They've had halves that haven't necessarily worked in their favor, but not that large of a dip. And possession is going to be key, taking care of the ball. I think a lot of times maybe Ireland's taken for granted their possessions because they've had this enormous Noni Anderson effect defensively and in midfield and in transition, and now they don't have that. Although she's on the field, we haven't seen that
until now.
become the factor.
Until now, this is Anderson at maybe 70%, still scoring a goal.
And that one, to me, it actually looked like it was going over the crossbar, and right at the last second, it dipped underneath.
Noni Anderson trying to spark Ireland. She gets the first one of the third quarter as we take a water break from the Tanya. Ireland has picked up their energy, and now they get the ball here following a draw control violation. I think Grant stepped in the circle early. So Ireland's gotten the last two. They've climbed within 7-2. And Noni Anderson just had one of her usual goals that elevates everybody around her.
A few different attackers. We now see Erin Riley in there. She's somebody for Ireland who we know can take the ball from up top.
Yeah, Anderson is on the bench today, so she hasn't played full time as Kaki Helmer felt coming in. They would limit her. Carrie Ullman, another player still in college among the young players for Ireland. Peters, Emma Economou smelled that question mark shot and denied it.
Yeah, Emma Economou has done a very good job holding that crease solid for Scotland's defense. I don't know if she's specifically guarding Caroline Peters, but she's doing a very good job of playing her below the goal line and keeping her there.
Nicola Kiley behind. Alexandra Seidel still in there for Scotland. The Scots have primarily split their goalies, Seidel and Felicity McCallum. Now Rachel Ward looking for the sweep. Nice help came from Grant, but the stick check, perhaps a little too close. Yes, that is the call. Too close to the crown of the head by Ward, despite missing. Free position for Rachel Ward. Ward feeding Peters, the catch! Ireland with a 3-goal run.
And interesting, if you saw on that 8-meter, Peters actually communicating with her teammate to step up in front of the Scottish defender so she could cut to Rachel Ward for that ball.
Timeout. Dave Simpson mulling it over for a moment. He calls it. With 7 minutes and change to go, Ireland has made this a new game from the Tanya. Middle of the third quarter, and it's 7-3. Ireland have closed the gap on Scotland. The Scots had a 7-0 lead late in the second quarter, but a Maggie Egan goal from Caroline Peters just gave Ireland something to build on. And then Noni Anderson fired her team up, getting a transition goal despite not being anywhere close to 100%. And then Peters got the pass down low from Rachel Ward. And now Ireland with another possession. And still 7 minutes left in the third quarter. So this is very possible for the Irish.
Yeah, with possession, you get to score. And now we've seen Ireland possess almost every single time in this second half. What can Ireland attack create? We've got Noni Anderson back in, Riley, Ward,
Peters. The chance, but right into the stick of Seidel. Seidel, though, in trouble and fouled on the back by Peters.
You know, we've talked about this crease curl a lot, and Peters chose to go high. And how many times have we seen the goals on that crease drive if you go low and the goalie shifting from high to high?
Transition, Alicia Lawson, stick too high on Ayton. She restarts. And a false start against Ayton. And she's upset. There have been, gee, Steffi, maybe one time a game where the players are still getting used to that rule. The officials getting used to it. The heat of the moment. The speed of play. The anxiousness of it. And there's a pass over the top. Here comes Anderson and a blistering pace. And Anderson hits the shot!
Noni Anderson is back. 3 defenders for Scotland, and she just pings that upper 90. You can't get better placement than that. You can't do it, Ralph. It's just the Noni Anderson effect.
It's a good time for a water break. We get a chance to appreciate that goal. Ireland is back in the game. They've scored 4 straight, and now Scotland's lead has been cut to 3 from Netanya. Late third quarter, Ireland with all the momentum. Noni Anderson has created all the momentum. She comes up with a draw control. She's got 2 goals during this 4-goal run, and now Ireland turns it over. Charlie Bergquist. As Anderson pressures. Rightly off of her stick. Riley the pickup. Down the middle, Kerr.
That fight from Ireland. You can tell they want this. And Scotland, this is what happens when you don't possess the ball off of the draw. The shift in the game can be that great.
Kylie and Seidel knocked down the pass. Anderson was cutting. Scotland will now need to clear. Seidel, not a great risk. Lucy Poulin the pickup. And then Poulin fouled. And Heather McRae fortunate. She may have gotten Poulin somewhere above, maybe near the shoulder. And of course that could have meant a yellow if it was a little higher. And that would have added fuel to this Ireland comeback.
And now we're going to see Poulin stay in the offense for Ireland. Someone who can also get involved offensively and take that long one-on-one drive.
She goes to Kerr. Cleo Kerr shots off the roll dodge inside the crease. Poulin, rare offensive run for her, but you need people to step up over the course of a long tournament. As Ireland on the outside, they'll have Poulin.
Well,
Poulin across. That one somehow clanged out. I don't know if Seidel got a piece of it, just based on the way she reacted and the ball bounced out.
yeah, and I would say I'm hoping that
There's Oliphant shooting, and a quick shot that Friel gladly eats up.
Friel, that's a big time stop for her. That's going to give some momentum to Ireland, but you know, we want Ireland to pepper Seidel low.
Yes, Ireland!
Kerr. Both teams 2-4 to this point of the tournament. But last Thursday in the 18th, it was Ireland 9-4 over Scotland. This has been a dramatically different game. Of course, the Scots have already surpassed their goal-scoring output. They did it in the first half, but they've barely had the ball in the second.
And both teams are just super tired.
And Egan can't believe the call. So Bergquist, the beneficiary for Scotland.
And you can see how tired both teams are. Scotland wants to hold for the last shot, and Ireland just wants to hold.
Gray took it very early again. So with about 50 seconds left and counting, the clock will keep going until under 30 seconds left. Then if there's a whistle, it'll stop there. So here comes Poulin. Now 30 seconds, now a whistle, so we should be around 28 and a stoppage. So it's Poulin. And then Poulin checked away by Oliphant. And then the foul. So Lucy Poulin will have an opportunity. You figure about 15 seconds remaining. Poulin, a very reliable, low defender. Poulin. That doesn't count. False start off the wing by Scotland. Lucy Poulin, who played collegiately at UMass. This is the most action she's seen on the offensive end in this tournament, trying to give the Irish a lift. Poulin. And a great collapsing defense by Scotland.
You know, again, I think this is one of those positions where Ireland has some different outcomes in these shots. If they're shooting low, they're releasing everything high.
Anderson. That's another foul and a stoppage. This is almost a replay of the end of the first quarter where Noni ripped the shot, but it did not count because there was only 1 second when she had it. Does she have time here? But Seidel makes it not matter. She makes the save, and this is going to expire the third quarter. 7-4, Scotland hanging on. But the Irish have made this interesting. We're back for the fourth quarter in this third game of the second day of the knockout round from the Women's European Lacrosse Championship in Netanya, Israel. It's the fourth quarter between Scotland and Ireland. 7-4, the Scots lead, but they led 7-0 late in the second quarter. And Ireland playing with renewed energy. With Steffi Samaras, Ralph Bednarczyk, third game of 6. The 2 semifinal games will follow. England and the Czech Republic, Israel and Wales. And in the nightcap, Germany and the Netherlands. Off the draw circle, it's Hannah Grant for Scotland. And here comes Chloe Carruthers. Scotland dominated possession for the first 2 quarters. Ireland flipped the script. And here comes Ayton.
I think this is their first possession off of the draw in the second half for Scotland. And their focus here is probably going to be a long possession with a good shot at the end.
Yeah, there were 2 in particular I can note, Steffi, that were quick shots by Scotland that also aided Ireland's comeback attempt and helped them keep their momentum.
Yeah, I think this is going to be one of those possessions where they're constantly moving. They're constantly looking to collapse Ireland's defense.
Molly McLean, a bouncing shot. Friel kicks it out. And the pickup. Instead, Ayton is able to pester Ireland into the turnover. She took it away from Deidre McKim. So it'll be Ayton, free position. I don't think she's had one today.
And this is actually, she's not on the 11 meter.
Yeah, she's about a yard back. So Eaton will veer off and go back to Grant.
She was struggling during
Gray, and she's cut off by Ward. McLean, let's roll through, and continues. McLean, as it trickled perhaps off of Friel.
Yeah, I think that was a good step by Friel to that ball. And you can't help but think, will Ireland come out at some point? Noni Anderson isn't in the game.
Carruthers accelerates. Nice shot. Chloe Carruthers, second of the game. That gives Scotland a chance to exhale. It's 8-4.
Yeah, and that's the finish that Scotland wants. They've probably took 2 or 3 minutes off of the clock, if not more, and they finished. That's a good thing for Scotland. What they don't want is the big time stop and then the continued momentum for Ireland.
A pair of goals for Carruthers. She's up to 5 in the Euros. Scotland gets the first goal of the fourth. Erin Riley now for Ireland. On the draw, Hannah Grant for Scotland. Grant able to reach up and take it.
Grant has been huge for Scotland on the draw, especially in this fourth quarter, grabbing both of the draws for this fourth quarter. The one coming out of the quarter, and then this one after the goal. And she was a huge part of that draw first half for Scotland.
And despite Noni Anderson's, I think, re-emergence after she got loose in the first half, Scotland has done a good job just not letting her explode in terms of gobbling up possessions.
Yeah, and that takes like multiple people to be able to contain somebody like Noni Anderson. And Scotland's done a very good job of that. And this is where you start to have the conversation about depth on your bench.
Pass through for Grant. Now is a touch behind her. And there is McCray able to come up with a one-hand stab. Nice stick skills from the defender. Whiteley. Here is Gray. Gray on the fake, could not finish. Flag is out. So it will be Chess Gray. Gray, nice stutter step. She's able to deke Friel. Scotland has gotten two back.
And that's a what we like to call a worm burner of a shot. The ball hits the ground, and instead of bouncing high, which is probably what Friel was thinking it was going to do, it stays on the ground, and she brings her stick up, and it worm burners underneath of her.
It's been a burner of an afternoon. Temperatures in the 90s. Scotland, the great start. We've got a water break. 9-4, Scotland's lead. First water break is complete in the fourth quarter as Scotland continues to lead Ireland, but now it's 9-4. And Cleo Kerr comes up with a draw control. Kerr stumbles, continues! She's got the goal!
The falling fake is what I like to call that one. And again, her momentum forward.
First of the game for Cleo. She's had some good performances in the Tanya, but while falling down, connects on the shot, her 11th of the tournament. 9-5 Scotland. Kerr has another. Oh, there's Ayton that was able to get it as she stepped across the restraining line, and then she was fouled.
I think I see maybe a new rivalry budding here between Ireland and Scotland.
The next generation.
Yeah. This is fun. These two teams have battled.
Well, it's been a long-standing rivalry between the nations or the representation of the British Isles. Here's Bergquist. She weaves through 10-5.
And again, I can't say more about an attacker who's going full speed at the cage and Ireland just using their sticks to play defense, which is something that's, you know, Ireland, I would say, is not known for. They're pretty good body defenders. Emotion, frustration, potentially seeing a little bit of that out of Ireland. Tired.
Sixth goal for Charlie Bergquist. Kerr, again, stood up there by Bergquist. That slows her down. Poulin, reapproach before the Scots get back in defensively, and now Anderson. Another uphill climb, shot wide, Anderson. Look at the card of the cross. Ireland had made it a 7-4 game going into the fourth, but Carruthers, Gray, and Bergquist have all tallied goals. Kerr for Ireland here in the fourth.
And now we're talking about a really quick offense for Ireland. They're going to have to take some chances offensively to be able to produce what they need to.
Oh, in tight, that's Kerr. A slam dunk. As she gets it from Riley, 10-6.
And that's that great goal line extended shot, wrapping the ball around the post and the goalkeeper.
10-6, second water break. Does Ireland have one more run left in them? Come back to us, to Netanya, to find out. Cleo Kerr has 2 goals for Ireland in the fourth quarter to cut it to 10-6. Kerr has another draw control, her third of the quarter.
This girl's determined.
As Kerr loses it, she was just bumped off of her momentum by Dixon.
And again, the speed that Ireland's going to have to go here offensively.
Ground ball that Poulin gets another run on offense. Lucy Poulin is fouled.
This is another question. Time keeps running. Every time you set up one of these 8 meters.
Lucy Poulin, fine finish. Her first goal of the tournament. Ireland will not go away against Scotland.
That's a great finish by Poulin. And
Let's go, Ireland! Let's go! Let's go, Ireland! Let's go!
Timeout, Ireland.
this could be a game plan for Coach Helmer and making sure the clock stops.
Yeah, she has 2 timeouts, so she can slow this down. Remember, after every draw control, as one of the lead officials, Steve Taylor, explained to us, they want to get the next draw started 30 seconds after the goal. So right there, with using 2 timeouts for Kaki Helmer, in theory, she can preserve 1 minute for her team to make a comeback, particularly now that it's only a 3-goal deficit.
Yeah, if you think about the number of goals that have been scored, that's 17, plus the draw to start the first half, the draw to start the second half, 19. That's potentially how much time?
Yeah, so you're looking at 9.5 minutes in there.
Potentially.
Right, plus the quarter, well, yeah. And in this case, the water breaks at least give Ireland a chance to huddle and talk more strategy. We should have one more so she can really break up this comeback into segments and game plan here a couple of possessions specifically.
Yeah, this could be interesting. And if they can come up with this draw,
Zoe Dixon, big draw control for Scotland. Gray turns away from the double team.
and it looks like Ireland's going to continue to pressure out.
Ireland has brought in a young player, the homegrown Noreen Cassidy, here on defense. She's from Dublin, eager to learn the sport, and is going to be part of the program for the next decade. And she was their flag bearer during the opening ceremony. Ayton.
Yeah, Ireland!
And Ayton does not shoot.
And does Friel potentially come out to help play this ball?
Poulin chases again.
Remember, they can use the sideline, they can use the end line.
Oliphant retreats. Gray did not even look at the goal.
This is that potential stall offense that we saw Spain do so well the other day.
Yeah, Spain stalled out Finland in a 1-goal win. Two checks by Riley, but the second one is a foul. Riley, and Riley knew it. A dangerous check near the crown of the head. And in frustration from the previous call, Erin Riley just took a yellow card. And this greatly affects Ireland's chances to come from behind.
Now they almost have to use Friel as that 7th defender.
Six on 5 for 2 minutes.
They don't want it!
Economou steps off the defender, and she's forced into Peters across the restraining line, but still didn't turn it over.
And now we've got Friel out of the cage playing some defense. Last night, I believe she even came back behind the restraining line, and a seventh defender came in for her.
Yeah, that might be something Ireland considers, with Scotland showing no interest in shooting at an open goal. We do not have a visible clock, so we apologize. Here is Ayton. Just a shot fake. So we should be around 3 minutes is my best guess, until we get an announcement. 10-7 Scotland. I thought I heard him say 30. Did you hear that correctly? It was hard to say 30 or 90.
The fourth official is not out on the field yet, and now she comes.
So let's just say we're at 30 and under. Scotland will probably have salted off a good 4 minutes following the water break, and they've done it. 10-7 Scotland. They hold off the Irish. After losing in pool play 9-4, Scotland with a big first half. They thwart Ireland's comeback attempt in the second. The Irish had cut it to 7-4 into the fourth. But then Scotland won several draw controls, and they closed this one out, and they win by 3. 10-7 is the final. Ireland will now play for 7th place. Scotland will play for 5th tomorrow to wrap up their time at the European Championships. Jenny Ayton, 2 goals and an assist in the first half, and she was excellent throughout. Chloe Carruthers, 2 goals to lead Scotland. Noni Anderson exploded for some small stretches with 2. Chloe Kerr, 2 goals in the fourth quarter to lead the Irish. So coming up, we'll say in 35 minutes, our first semifinal. England, the prohibitive favorite, the Czech Republic, the upstart and explosive team looking to make some history. For Steffi Samaras, I'm Ralph Bednarczyk, and we'll talk to you then.